What is up, everybody? This is RybackStun. We have returned to Marvel Heroes. We are not on the test center. We are once again on live. I did that last Juggernaut video, and I wanted to do another video for a character that I very much enjoy playing, and it is Ghost Rider. Now, I did not play Ghost Rider before his big QOL, but his QOL made a huge difference in what people have said he was before and what he is now. Ghost Rider is one of those characters where it kind of just happened that I wanted to get him, so I got him. But it kind of just happened that I built him the way I did. I followed some builds, I looked at things around, I shifted a couple different things. And it just stuck, it clicked. And everything got together the way it was supposed to. And boom. So, this is essentially a Judgment build. It's a mixed physical, mental build. It has a couple different options, or one different option for basic attacks, what you choose to do. But, for the full build itself, it's 1 point in Chain Snare, because you want an extra ranged attack that does a dot, because dots help a lot. 20 points in Judgment. This is your main damage ability. It does a ton of damage, and it just continues to smack, smack, smack. 20 points in Chains of Blaze. This is a big passive that helps grant you physical damage rating, the crit rating, which will help you deal more damage with your Judgment. And when you deal physical damage to enemies affected by Hellfire, you restore Spirit. You also gain physical damage rating for 5 seconds. So essentially, when you activate an ability like Inferno that you put 20 points in, and it drops Hellfire on the initial cast to enemies around you, or if you choose to use the Hellfire basic instead of the Chain Thrash basic to kind of help proc mental damage and continue stacks of Hellfire itself, your Judgment and even your Chain Snare will proc this little ability here, the Chains Blaze passive, and continue to give you physical damage to do more damage with those two powers. 20 points in Inferno, as I said, this is your big vulnerability. It's your mental damage proc, it's your dot proc, all the different procs that you can possibly want in this, with the exception of physical damage, and it is here. 20 points in Protect the Innocent. It gives you a significant boost to defense rating, projectile deflection chance, it regenerates health per second. Your effects are increased by 50% while standing in Inferno, and when you take damage, you have Constitution, and the buff lasts for 10 seconds. 20 points in Penance Stare. This is your big, big, big damage every 30 seconds. It does mental damage 4 times per second. It has an Execute mechanic. It channels for 1.6 seconds, so you get, I think it's 16 procs. No, that's not right. 4 for the first second, and I think it's about 3, so it's about 7 hits with the Penance Stare itself. Spirit cost is nice and low. And you, obviously, because it's a signature, you get power synergy with your ultimate. I do not have a lot of ranks in my ultimate. However, Ghost Rider might be one of the characters that I put ranks into my ultimate. 20 points into Spirit of Vengeance. It gives you maximum health, it gives you mental damage rating, and it gives you damage negated. When you hit with a power, it continues to give you damage negated. It gives you damage rating, and the effects are increased 100% each time for each 25% of your total health is missing. So you could end up with, I believe it's 40% damage negated and about 1,000 extra damage rating when you're at 75, when you're less than 25% health, which is quite nice. 20 points into Infernal Contract. It's a passive effect when you're defeated. It's your revive, but your active effect, it guarantees you a bunch of crit and brutal damage, and its buff duration is 8 seconds. Cooldown is 20 seconds. However, it cuts your health by 50%. So the lower health it is it's a little bit better of a risk. The higher health it is, obviously, you go from 100% to 50. We've got 1 point in Ride here because this is an awesome travel power, and it just leaves fire across the ground. 1 point in Dread. I very rarely use it, but because I had the extra points, you'll notice I have 2 points here. It was worth putting the points into it. Might actually put 2 points here into Infernal Wheelie, because I do use that every once in a while, and it does apply Hellfire. Hell from Above is another melee attack that does physical damage that will also proc your Chains of Blaze. It does a lot of physical damage. The cooldown is reduced by 1 second when you hit with a Vengeance power, which is essentially going to just be Ride or Infernal Wheelie. Medium-ish Spirit cost. Cooldown is 8 seconds, obviously reduced, and it applies 3 stacks of Hellfire on hit. So that's the basic build that I set up. Synergies are Cable for the full crit chance, Ghost Rider for the mental power crit chance, Hulk for the health, Hawkeye for the move speed and crit damage, Human Torch for the area damage because we do a lot of area damage. Even your Judgment is area damage. Moon Knight for the physical crit chance, Psylocke for mental and physical damage, Punisher for health and spirit on enemy defeat. This is a little bit of an extra buff in terminals, I generally end up switching that out for something else. Probably Nightcrawler for raids. We've got Scarlet Witch here. I might actually switch that out for Loki instead just to reduce the spirit costs, and I think I slow. I could be wrong. No, I don't think I slow. Never mind. And then Wolverine because you need Brutal. I could end up switching out Punisher for something like Squirrel Girl, or to get some extra physical damage, I might just throw it into Colossus to get the health in it as well. So there's that. In terms of... That's what I need to do. In terms of Omegas, you can see already I've got 1 out of 5 in Angel to be able to proc the 5 points in fighting for Warpath. Beyond that is going to be some other stuff. We've got 10 ranks in Spin Tech, and I believe I've got 5 ranks in Guild Suppression Research, so that gives me the extra Brutal. And at that basically sets me up to be in a pretty good position to do things that I need to do. Now, Drax is my team-up hero. Gamora is another option, because you do have the Chain Snare as a ranged attack. And if you swapped over to Hellfire instead of Chain Thrash, you could get the additional ranged proc for her abilities. But Drax gives me a lot of melee damage and a lot of crit and brutal when he procs, plus the attack speed here on the last thing, so that's fun. In terms of items, I'm using Relics of Wakanda, because it increases my damage over time, and he's one of the better guys that uses damage over time, considering the fact that he's got the Inferno, he's got the Hellfire proc, he's got the Chain Snare, and actually it also helps Penance Stare, which is impressive. So, in terms of artifacts, we've got a Blessed Armor M26 Anti-Reality Grenade, so I can proc off the physical and mental to get Brutal Strike rating and crit rating with area powers. And you'll notice that Judgment, Chain Snare, Health from Above, and Inferno are all area powers. Penance Stare is still just a regular one. We've got a Blessed Arnhem Zola box, which gives us the Spirit Gain when you hit with a damage over time power, as well as crit and damage. We have Blessed Idol of Khonshu, which all of these are blessed with Healas. Khonshu helps because it gives me the +1 power, and I can alternate my ranged powers, such as Inferno and Chain Snare, to proc over Judgment and Health from Above, and even Penance Stare will proc the ability to hit with another almost 1,000 damage off of Khonshu. Then we've got a Blessed Advanced Meta Sensory Array. So that's always fun. Got a Defense Uru here with the Power Dupe. You gotta have the Power Dupe. Mental Power gives you damage rating, plus recovers Spirit, and your Physical Power gives you Brute damage rating, and it also recovers Spirit, which is important. Power Cosmic, again, another super important ability here. You essentially will end up with 1,500 mental and physical damage rating for 10 seconds when you hit with the other power. I get an extra 1,500 health, and when I hit with the mental energy or physical power, I get +1 to all attributes for 10 seconds, so it's going to give me +2 to all attributes for 10 seconds, and all that lovely stuff. In terms of rings here, I've got a Cosmic Ring. It's got crit damage, it's got dodge rating. Dodge rating isn't all that important, but the damage rating on area and melee powers is pretty good. That essentially gives me about 300 extra damage rating on my Judgment and my Health from Above, while it still grants me a little bit of extra damage for Chain Snare and Inferno. The only thing it doesn't grant me is the damage on Penance Stare. Standard uniques, Alejandra's Scythe, Quentin Carnival Jumpsuit, the Blood Sign Contract. I need to upgrade my boots here since I've finally gotten that 4th slot here for the Crash Simpsons Engineer Boots, and then the Infernal Chopper. On the costume, we've got crit damage, I've got physical defense rating, and regen. Eventually, at some point, I would like to get invuln regen, or at least regen fighting. So that's always fun. I do have a Cosmic Penance insignia here with crit damage and damage to melee powers, because Judgment is essentially our main damage ability besides Penance Stare. And then we have Old Lace, who currently just has 2 fighting and nothing else. I don't know if I had... Oh yeah, he was using, at one point in time, my Captain America one, which was fighting, damage to melee powers, move speed, and base health. So I'm rebuilding Ghost Rider's pet at this point in time. We're going to do a Cosmic Taskmaster, because that's what we do. Cosmic Taskmaster is relatively easy to do and worth doing, because I still need another Taskmaster guide. So, I really dislike it when the map pops up like this, because it makes me think I've already done this, but I know I haven't. So here we are. Got ourselves a Taskmaster to deal with. So first thing I do is I try to hit Inferno. That way I can get some extra damage onto him immediately. Hit the Chain Snare and then drop in with the Health from Above. Pop the Signature so that I can do at least a bit of damage early on. Some people save it for late. If I know a fight's going to go on really long, I'll try to do it right in the beginning and then towards the end. So you'll notice he's about half health already, and I'm just knocking the crap out of all the minions that are in the area. And just continue with the rotations. You use your Inferno when you need to put a new pile down. You use Judgment after that. I generally combo Chain Snare and Hell from Above in order to do stuff. And to kill him, I'm going to use the Contract and the lovely Penance Stare signature. So, and I need to go beat, what's his name? Juggernaut. So I'll probably do that after this is done. But there you go. Wasn't able to explain it as easily as I expected it to, because fighting and explaining it at the same time is a little bit difficult. But that is essentially how my Ghost Rider works. So we're going to switch back to the training room here really quick. And I have the original costume because that's something that I bought during the sale. I bought that and Thing's Future Foundation costume because those were costumes that I really liked on those characters. So that's Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's pretty easy to play. I've seen people run a full mental build utilizing Infernal Skull. That's not wrong. It's another good way, perfectly fine way to do it. And Amthua, one of the devs, has actually added Mark of the Power, some type of slot 1 unique that granted a bunch of extra damage to mental powers and gave him bonuses to it based upon the fact that the Ghost Rider players were using Dark Hold, which is incredibly difficult to get, or just the Hellfire Shotgun, which isn't a bad idea because, I mean, originally, this is Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze had a Hellfire Shotgun. That's what he does. He shotguns people in the face with Hellfire. I really wish he had a power like that, but that's okay. But that's the build. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I'll do a Marvel Heroes .info little thingy for you guys. Actually, I might just link the one I used, so that way I can give that person credit. That's probably what I'll end up doing. You'll see that in the comments below, so make sure, not in the comments, in the description below, so you'll make sure to take a look at that and praise the individual that created up this build, because that's what I'm using. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did featuring it to you. Remember to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr at RybackStun. More videos as they come along, and with that, this is RybackStun, signing out.